I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports.
Well, it is just the perfect time of year for a trip to the Carolinas, and that's where we find ourselves at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. This is fielded at the goal line, and he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
That's it. 37's the Mike. Mike 37. I don't think you got it, son.
On first down, it's Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, and that'll bring up second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. On second and 10, Newton. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side.
Let's go.
The numbers for Jones last week, he was pretty prophetic. He said before that game, I want to get in the end zone often. He got there 3 times.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch a lot of footballs. That is important, but it's what you do after the catch that can make you great. And he had a great game last week.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Check, 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 check.
Jones on 1st and 10. That's caught. It's Jarius Wright. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there, 18 yards, first down Falcons.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Now a play fake here on first down. Open man is Jacob Hollister. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
You go tight. You recon, 132 fighter.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Here's Jones. Off play action. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now, there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the...
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Jacob Hollister, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games.
Now a hit and a loose football. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secure.
And that will be taken in by Ridley for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Falcons push further out in front. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance, as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now, to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
On second down now, it's Carson. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. On 1st down, Carson. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week. 12 carries, 54 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Touchdown, Carolina! Chris Carson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Now Matt Prater for the point after. And that one makes it 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year. To try again after the sack. Jones airing it out, looking for Ridley. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
He's checking.
Now Jones operating from the gun. Complete to Jones. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Yeah, absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line.
Let's go.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. Jones now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Jacob Hollister, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Falcons push further out in front. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And it's now 21-7. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Carolina getting set to take the field. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Here we go, 37 to Mike. Mike 37. I'm coming up to you.
From the gun on 3rd down. Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jones now Off the play fake. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Montez Sweat in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Is looking for Ridley again, but now it's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Throwing Jones. It's caught. Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Julio Jones once again the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's a corner that got in there for the sack. Dante Jackson. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
Look at me. Go.
Throwing on third and long. Jones. It's caught inside the 25. 33 yards that time.
Here we go.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line.
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Jacob Hollister on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons push further out in front. Extra point by Moore, up and good.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Check 43.
Throwing again. Newton. Going back to Moore. This time he's got him complete. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Newton. That's complete into the hands of Carson. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Again, Newton. And this one complete to Seth Roberts. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line.
Here we go.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on what should be the final play of the first half. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. A final shot before the break. Newton. He'll fire a desperation throw for the end zone. And my goodness, this is incomplete. So we have reached halftime now with a bit. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
15 yards, first down Atlanta. On first down, Jones. And he's over. And that will be taken in by Ridley for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 25th touchdown. Tying him and Smith for the 5th most at once.
Complete to Calvin Ridley. Touchdown, Atlanta. Brett Maher on 40.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They run again with Carson. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. 5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on third down.
We got 4. We got 4.
Out of the gun, Newton. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation. The catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Jones from the gun, he'll throw. Wright's got it. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunity.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle it.
And he's going to go down again. Brian Burns in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today. But on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Now Jones. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Montez Sweat in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
From the gun, here's Newton. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. To throw again. Newton. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. A shotgun snap for Newton. Roberts has it. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs. They'll run on 1st down. It's Carson, and he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And we're back now in Charlotte. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Here we go. 60 or. Right here.
Here's Jones on 1st down, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jones. This one caught by Ridley. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Atlanta. Looking to throw. Jones. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley. His 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point by Marr, up and good, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. Oh, a nice spin. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Carolina offense making their way out. We take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. From the gun, Newton. And it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, He needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
Now Jones to throw again. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Troy Apke. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this.
Taking it right down Broadway. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown kick. Curtis Samuel, his 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Extra point good by Prater. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone.
Only able to get it to the 2-yard line on his return. Not going to make a lot of friends on your team when you only get it that far.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Jones now throwing on first down. Underneath here to Hill. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for it. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 3rd and long. Jones. And the pressure gets to him again. Dontari Poe marches in for the sack.
Check 52. Bravo! No. Off.
Jones throwing on 4th down. Oh, it's intercepted. He was trying to give it to Ridley. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Now Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And the Falcons grab it. He's at the 50. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Here's Jones. Following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They'll roll him out right. Looking in zone for Jones. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Rolling to it, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest.
Come on, QB, come on.
Now Newton on 1st down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick, and that will write a finish to this ball game.
Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. A big offensive